Hey YouTube, Joseph Ulmer here. Today I'm out here with Madison, and we have her CB500X behind us, and we've got a little problem. But before we get into that, I need you to do me a favor. Go down under the bottom of the screen, hit that subscribe button. Remember to like this video when it's all over with. If you have any questions, throw them down in the comments section. Now, go ahead and grab your front brake lever and swing your leg over your bike. Here's our problem. The motorcycle fits her well, except she is on her tippy toes trying to hold the motorcycle straight up, and that is not safe. So what we need to do is we need to lower the motorcycle a little bit so that it fits her. I ordered this lowering link off of, I believe it was eBay, and it comes with the link, comes with the bushings for either end. You're going to need the tools to install it. So we got an 8mm Allen, a 14mm wrench, and a 17mm wrench, and those will allow me to remove the bolts in the motorcycle that I need to remove to get the link off of the factory link off. And then these 2 3/4 I'm going to need to actually make the adjustments to the lowering link to get the height correct for her. Now, keep in mind, if you're lowering the rear end of the motorcycle, in order to somewhat keep your rake and trail angles factory, you also need to drop the front. And you can see here, we've already done that. I loosened the bolt in the triple clamp, which is right down there. Hopefully you can see that bolt. And I took a digital caliper that has a depth gauge on it, and I slid both of the forks up in the triple clamps the same amount. So it is just over an inch that we lowered the front. It is about 1 1/4 inches that we dropped it in the front. And that link, I believe, will give us up to 2 to 3 inches in the rear. Give me just a second, and we're going to show you how to get it installed. Now, in order to do this, you're going to need some way to jack up and safely support the motorcycle, because you're going to have to take the weight off of the rear suspension, because this link that helps to hold the shock in place is what we're actually going to be replacing. So if you have weight on the rear suspension, you're not going to be able to get these bolts out or get the new link in properly. So give us just a second. We're going to get the bike jacked up, and then we'll be right back. We've got the motorcycle jack under the bike. We've got the rear tire just up off the ground. We also took a strap and strapped the bike to the jack, just so it's nice and sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. It'll move a little bit, but it's not going to fall off. Now, down here, we need to remove this bolt and nut and that bolt and nut. So in order to do that, we're going to need a 14mm wrench on the left side of the rear bolt, and a 17 on the right side. And hopefully break those loose nice and easy. Oops, sorry. Kind of hit you, knocked you out of the way. So with Madison on the other side of the bike, I got a ratchet and a 17mm socket so that I can just work that nut off and not have to fight it. Nuts off, and now with a little movement, oh, well, all right, we're going to lower the jack down just enough to take some weight off the rear suspension, and hopefully we'll find it right there is that spot where we can get that bolt out. All right, we got that bolt out. Now that link should drop down just like that. So now I'm going to take the ratchet with our 8mm, and we're going to go inside of the bolt over there if I can find it.
Same.
As you can see, it's an Allen.
It's right here.
Oh, sorry. It's an Allen right there, as I was just so corrected. And for all of those of you with keen and astute eyes, somebody ran off with my 8mm, so I'm actually using a 5/16. They are close enough that they will cross, so I don't want to hear anybody getting upset about it. Now just pull that bolt out, keep it on your side.
Can you push it through?
Yeah.
There we go.
And then that link comes out. And now you can see the difference in the two links. This is a cast or machined aluminum piece. This is an adjustable piece. And when it's adjusted all the way in, it is the same length as this. So this should give us enough length to drop the bike a good amount. Now, when you get ready to install it, as you'll see here in just a second, we're going to get that out of the way. We're going to take our link. We have these aluminum bushings. Then once they're installed in the link, it should make the link the same width as the factory one. So with those two installed, I'm going to slide it back up into the slot where it goes, right up here. And Madison is going to push the bolt through. Should be right there. I'll get the nut on. That's good and tight. Now we want to make sure, we're going to make sure we're adjusted all the way in, because one side is left-hand threads, one side is right-hand threads. So I want to make sure that I'm adjusted all the way in before I install the other half. That way I have the full adjustment of the link. And then we're going to install our other two aluminum bushings. Hopefully this is all staying in focus for you guys. And then we're going to slide that up in there, just like that. I'm going to hand her the bolt, and then I know I'm going to raise the jack up. I'm going to try to with my hand. Oh, okay, take that back. I'm going to lower the jack down until she fits. Is that too far? Not far enough.
That is, there we go.
Okay, now she fits. We'll get the nut on. All right, now with that tight, we're going to go ahead and lower it back down. Go ahead and hold the front brake. Lean it over on the kickstand. Go ahead and throw your leg over the bike. See where you're at. We're gonna see where she sits now. Make sure you grab your front brake so it doesn't roll over my legs. Still up on your tiptoes? Mm-hmm. Okay, so to adjust it, should be able to and lean on the kickstand, hop off just a second. We'll take the weight off the suspension, see if that makes it any easier. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're just gonna be threading this out until we get to a reasonable height. Okay, throw your leg back over. Let's see where we are. Still need a little bit more. All right, go ahead and hop off.
I'm fine.
All right, go ahead and try that. Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
You feel more confident?
Yeah, I can even lift it up when I'm not.
Okay, now you can see she's still up on her toes a little bit if I slide that back, but you can definitely tell it's sitting a lot closer to the ground than it was before. Her riding boots are gonna, the soles on her riding boots are much thicker than the soles on her tennis shoe. We just wanted to use the soles on her tennis shoe for the fitment because that would give us the most that we might need to drop the motorcycle. And I can always lower the front end just a little bit more if necessary. I don't want to take the back end down too much more, just for the factors of suspension travel, and I don't want to overextend the lowering link. So go ahead and lean in on the kickstand. She feels a lot more confident there than she did before, way up on her tippy toes. Make sure you're holding your front brake when you get on and off, kid.
Yeah, Dad, it's like.
No, I mean when
it up. The kickstand is like on the ground already.
I know, and that's what she's noticing right now. Go ahead and lean it over. Is that even leaned over? See how vertical the bike is sitting? That is one thing when you lower a motorcycle you're going to have to keep in mind, is that if you park on a flat surface, it's going to sit a lot closer to vertical because the kickstand didn't get any shorter. So you're always going to have to park. It's going to make it much easier to tip over when it's on the kickstand. So always keep in mind, try and park somewhere where you're leaning slightly downhill onto the kickstand. Not a big deal. Short people problems. Now this is what we needed the second 3/4 inch wrench for. I'll come back down here. We're going to run our bolts back, or our nuts back, excuse me. There we go. Once we get them run down there, and so we're gonna get 3/4 there. We're gonna get a 3/4 back here. If I can. Well, I'm trying to get it on that nut, and it's just in a bad spot.
I can see it though.
All right. You on there?
Oh,
Oh, now you're on both of them. You're gonna have to slide it back so you're just on the nut. Here, let me see it for a second. Okay. This one's gonna take a little more finesse to get tight because it's just in a bad spot. There we go. And in order to tighten that one the rest of the way, I'm just gonna push, even if it takes the bike back up just a little bit, I'm gonna hold it. I'm just gonna push. I'm gonna use the center, this section, I'm gonna thread it to lock it down because it's not gonna change the height difference that much. And then we'll lock down the front one. This is easier. This would be easier if I put it back up on the jack. Keep that in mind. All right, that should be nicely locked down. And hopefully now she's ready to go. Now, like I said, as you can see, the bike's standing fairly straight up. The only other good solution to that problem would be to cut a little bit out of the kickstand and weld it back together. But we're not going to do that right now. So Do me a favor, guys. Like I said, please comment. Drop your questions in the comments. Rate the video. Subscribe to the channel. And just so y'all know, that lowering link, I think with shipping cost me about $72 off of eBay. Seems to be a pretty good quality part. If we have any issues with it, I'll let you know. If you have any questions about how it's working, just post them in the comments. And give it a little bit of time though, and that way we can get it out on the road and see how it does, and we'll let you know. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You might have a little fun doing it.